click this button. So so the first one, okay, one of the frequent issues that we encounter is customers reporting some orchestral related process crash. So we typically want to, in that kind of issue, we typically want to capture the crash dump file, and of course, while capturing the crash dump, we need to capture the right kind of the process dump file. Otherwise, we'll end up spending a lot of time. So here, earlier we used to send the registry keys to the customer, and they have to manually create those keys, and or they have to run some batch files and all. So now now it made it much simpler. So you just click this button. So here it is. Right now it's enabled here, but assuming this is the default setting when you launch the tool for the first time. And yeah, so you just click on this disable link, so it will be enabled, and you can choose how many dump files you want to collect. But the process, I mean, if you basically you cannot keep this number high because otherwise your disk will be pretty much used up. So generally 5 or 10 is good enough. And this is just a location. You can choose even wherever you want to store these process dump files, and then apply, and that's it. So the registry keys are created automatically, and next time, from now onwards, next time whenever the process crashes, actually in this case, this is mainly to capture the engine process. AA engine is known to, as the engine is the host for so many other binaries, and also it loads several client controls and all internally. So as this is the host process, it is most likely the one crashes. So so we created this feature for you. Process dump type 3 means it's a full process dump file. And we have one more feature here. Okay, by the way, I forgot to mention a couple of things here. So when you, okay, where is my, yeah, here. So when you run this setup on a machine where the app server is not installed, so it will give you a message. And also, if you run the setup on a previous version prior to WSP 2014, it will again give a warning. It's not really a warning. It just throws a message saying that the tool is not supported. So yeah, these are the 2 prerequisites for the tool. Okay, so when you click on this one, Windows error reporting. So here, these are typically our app server. App server related processes. So if you want to use Windows provided error reporting feature, because right now even if AAGR crashes, there are no registry keys to enable. That will automatically capture the dump file. So we need to use Windows error reporting. So yeah, if I remember correctly, there are 3-4 CRs where customers reported about AAGR crash. So at that time, we had difficulty capturing that one because that particular component doesn't have inbuilt capability. So now, now even if it is AA IDE cache or user validator, you just enable this option and choose which one you want to capture. So if you don't want, just move to the left, or you can just keep everything here. And from the select process here, you can just select the process and the dump file location. This is again the same. Actually, even though it says mini dump, but the type is 3, so which means it's actually a full process dump. And again, this is the same similar kind of setting. So yeah, once it is there, so you just apply the settings. That's all. And if you don't want these, you just remove from the list. So once you capture all this, you can just remove from the list and then apply the settings. So it's actually, our idea is to just make these operations very, very simple, like one click to second click, and then once you have it enabled, and then apply. So it's hardly three, four clicks. So earlier we used to, explain this process to the customer, and they would ask him what the purpose of this, and is there any impact of the registry keys and all. So now it's simple. Okay, so I will explain about gather diagnostic info later. The next one is installed hotfixes info. So right now it's not actually working here, but it's supposed to work. And even though it says select a product to display the hotfix information, I don't think this machine has any hotfixes. But I would expect here we should at least display Wonderware application server here in the list. And in the list box here, the hotfix number is, all installed hotfix numbers are displayed here, something like L00150-950, like that. So once you select the hotfix number, on right side, it will show the hotfix name, description, and what is the fix provided, and the install date as well. So this is really useful for many customers and also GCS engineers, and even for R&D, because sometimes customer, if we tell customer to install certain hotfix on, let's say, GR and IDE nodes, they may install it on the GR, but they may forget, to install the hotfix on one of the IDE, and they again starts reporting the issue. So we had several cases like this, and customers sometimes, they manually maintain the list of hotfixes, and there's always a possibility of error. So here, now this is simple. So we even provided a button here that will export the list to a CSV file. So instead of asking customers, now you can just, earlier, customer had to give you the list from their internal data, but now just ask them to run the tool and go to the tab and then just click this button, export hotfixes list. So it's
Nagaraju, are you populating that from the XML file from the hotfix installer?
Yeah, so we are using this hotfix manager. So that one internally, creates an XML file. Yeah. So if you take any hotfix README, at end of the README in the general instructions, there is I think it's called hfdb.xml. So there is one XML file that already has that information about the installed hotfixes.
So since that doesn't actually install the files, then it's still something, I guess, to the customer to check to see if those DLLs actually get on the machine.
Yeah. It doesn't really check the DLL versions, but it at least maintains the list of hotfixes. So from that XML, we are pulling up the data here.
Quick question: does this apply towards any hotfixes that do not have an XML file, such as those from Historian server?
Okay. Right now, this particular tool tool works with only Windows application server. So Wonderware application server. Other teams, this is actually started with our internal small project, and later we offered it to GCS. No, currently it only supports Wonderware application server. The other products.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and if any other team wants to use the tool, if they want to extend the functionality, we are very much open to share the source code, and they're free to update the tool. Actually, many features here, even their InTouch or Historian teams can actually use. So yeah. Okay, and moving. Okay, the next tab, platform deploy test. We started the feature, but we didn't really finish it. So right now it's empty. At least maybe before we post the tool, we'll be hiding this tab. But this will be a cool feature, because a lot of times customer, they usually configure a machine and then later they realize that deploying is actually failing, and it will show the platform, status shows something, wrong in their SMC, and they have to, run platform remover and all that. So instead, when they choose any machine, they can pretty much, run the tool on the machine, and from GR they can also check whether it's actually, at least the basic minimum requirement is there to use that machine as a remote platform. Yeah, definitely in the next version we are going to add this feature. Yeah. Okay, now this is what we are really interested in. This is where we gather the info. The first one, in the first tab, we collected the dump files. Assume that we collected the dump files in the first tab, and customer clicks on the next one, gather diagnostic info. So we just enable the first one. So from here, there is a diagnostic data location folder, because there are different kinds of diagnostic data that can be gathered. So there is one central location. So so when you enable this one, okay, enable, and just say copy files. So when you click this button, copy files, the files from this location are automatically copied here, and those are automatically zipped, so you don't need to zip. So it's already done that for you. The tool does that job for you. And the next one is the same thing. It's a Windows error reporting dump files. And if you look at this is actually a dynamic. So yeah, these things are actually cool. So the UI is actually similar to our simplified object editor. If you see in object viewer, Orchestra IDE, the UI is actually, these kind of button styles and everything is actually similar. So this is the reason we were not able to support the previous versions of the product. And the next one, okay, the next one is SMC logs. So here you can choose the logs from date, and you can change the time as well. And the same thing from to, and then export SMC, and automatically the SMC logs are exported, and it will be copied to a folder. Let's see, this one is from 13th, so I have some logs from 13th. Okay, let's see. AM and export. Okay, there's a minor bug. For some reason, the logger client is not responding properly, so we are not able to get the status, but we will fix the issue. We just observed the issue. So once this is done, see the public diagnosed info. Let's go to the location. Oh, it's already there. Oh, well, actually, I ran the test earlier, so I'm going to delete all of this. Okay, so this is now fresh. So let's do an export. So here, actually, at the bottom there is a status. So even you can see it here. So it says exported SMC logs. So the SMC logs are here. So here is your SMC file, SMC log file. And the next one, Galaxy Backup. Right now we are not doing any backup. So this is just here you need to provide the cap file location. So this is just a simple copy operation. So we are not really doing any backup, because doing a Galaxy Backup, it internally locks the entire database. So that requires some security permissions and all. So in the next version, we will probably include logging into the tool with a specific user, and based on that, we can enable certain features and disable some of them. So that is, yeah, that's in pipeline, but yeah, it's in future. And the reason for this tab is, just that if once you give the location and copy, so everything is copied to the same location. So that's the idea. So the next one is really cool. This is the local security policies. So you just, okay, let's say you want to capture this, just click that. So it's completed. Go back to the same folder again, diagnostic info, local security policies. So here is your security policies. Okay, the next one, event viewer. This is actually cool. So this is the one typically we, for many issues, we ask customers for this event viewer logs. So manually they have to open the event viewer and then choose certain, date and time and all those things. So instead here it says you just select what kind of it is, what type of log is required. Typically it's application and system. Choose the date and time, let's say from yesterday and this, and click. So it will take some time because this machine has, I was running few tests. So, oh, it's actually done. Okay. So go back, you will see one more folder here, event logs, system event, and I don't know what is this metadata. I'm not sure. Oh, this might have generated while creating these event viewer files. Okay, and finally the next one, file version info. So in several cases, some files might have been corrupted, sometimes the install might be wrong. So while doing especially upgrades, there are very few occasions where customer reported issues, and we found that some of the files are not having the correct versions. So it's actually difficult for any person to go through each and every file and then cross-check with the actual product versions. So yeah, you just click this, and it will take some time because there are a lot of files that comes with the installation. So we don't create a list of all files, but the ones which are mostly used, for most operations, like LMX. AAGR, kind of, those ones. Okay, while this is going on, I can go to the last tab, that is useful tips. So this is just information for customers and system integrators and GCS all. So assume that there's an issue with deploy operation. Typically customer reports the issue, GCS spends some time. If they can't find out what is going on, they come to us, and yeah, so by the time the issue investigated by a developer, when they start investigation, there is some time is already lost. And deploy operations, if any deployments are failing, that's actually a critical operation for customers. So okay, so at least what they can do is they can just select this issue type, deploy, and follow the instructions here. These are generalized instructions. Yeah. So with this information, once you capture this information, and when you create the CR, once you just attach this SMC file. For example, in this case, we are recommending these for each component. So these are the flags to be enabled. And also we are even mentioning that certain components are present only on the GR or or GR plus IDE or all nodes. So based on that, you can just create the log file by enabling these and running one deployment test and give it to us. So when the developer has the investigation assigned, he has some information to investigate. So the time is saved here. So that is the idea. Okay, similarly on deploy, there are a few more log flags. Okay, so these are the things interesting. So recently there are several memory leak CRs submitted, and every time the process for collecting data for memory leak kind of issues is pretty much remains the same, whatever the version it is. So even though this is given to many GCS engineers, but it's sent in the form of email, and they may forget. It's because it's not so frequent, and it comes from very different customers. So now we are keeping all these instructions in this tab, so that next time you don't even need to come to us. Even customer, when they suspect that some process is leaking memory, they can just follow these instructions straight away. They don't before they even contact you, they can just follow these instructions and capture the dump files and call you guys once, and you may just take a look at their system once and then say, okay, yeah, it's a leak, and then just create the investigation, and we have the information ready to investigate. And the same thing for high CPU. So here it's a slightly different kind of instructions using a different kind of tool, but yeah, the information is there for you right there. So you can use these commands as an example, and you can either if customer is smart enough, they can do it straight away, or GCS can help customers. And the third one, process crash. Yeah, this is also a set of instructions, and along with these instructions, you already have these settings here, so you need to use both. And of course, okay, so here the list contains a commonly reported issues, and if you think any other workflows where customers are frequently reporting issues, let us know. We are happy to add those issues to this list. Yeah, and the basic information will be added in those tabs. Okay, and I think that's it. I pretty much covered everything regarding the tool. Yeah, so